In the quiet suburbs of Indianapolis, Herb Baumeister was the picture of success. A wealthy businessman, devoted husband, loving father of three. Neighbors saw him as a friendly family man who lived on a sprawling estate called Fox Hollow Farm. But every serial killer has a mask, and behind his, something evil was buried just feet from the backyard. Young men started vanishing from gay bars in the early 1990s. They were last seen getting into cars with a man who promised a good time. Then, nothing. Families searched desperately. Police had few leads, until one day, the mask slipped. Investigators arrived at that perfect-looking farm, and what they uncovered in the woods would shock the nation. Over 10,000 human bone fragments, scattered like leaves across the property. This is the terrifying true story of a good neighbor who turned his American dream home into a graveyard. Welcome to the Missing Report USA. If you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We bring you the missing who were never forgotten. Herbert Richard Baumeister was born in 1947. By all accounts, he lived a relatively normal life early on. He married Julie in 1971. They had 3 children. He built a thriving business, Save-A-Lot, a chain of thrift stores that brought him financial success. The family moved into Fox Hollow Farm in 1988, an idyllic 18-acre property with plenty of privacy. Neighbors described him as a bit eccentric, but mostly quiet and unremarkable. He attended church. He seemed like any other successful suburban dad. But behind closed doors, cracks were forming. His marriage had strains, and investigators would later learn that Herb had a double life. He frequented gay bars in Indianapolis under the alias Brian Smart. He would approach young men, often in their 20s, some struggling or from marginalized communities, and invite them back to his farm for parties or fun. They trusted the well-dressed, charming businessman. They got into his car, and they were never seen again. Between the late 1980s and mid-1990s, multiple young men disappeared after being seen with a man matching Herb's description. Names like Jeffrey Allen, Alan Broussard, and others. Families reported them missing. Police noticed a pattern, many last seen at the same bars. One survivor later came forward. He described going to Fox Hollow Farm with Brian. He said Baumeister showed him around, then things turned violent. He barely escaped. His testimony was crucial. Meanwhile, on the property, Baumeister was allegedly luring victims, murdering them and disposing of their bodies in the woods behind the house. He reportedly burned some remains and scattered others. The scale was horrifying. Police would eventually link him to at least 11 confirmed victims, with estimates up to 20 or more. His wife and children reportedly had no idea. Julie later said she noticed odd behavior, like her husband spending time in the woods at night, but nothing that raised full alarms. The perfect suburban facade held, until it didn't. The breakthrough came when a private investigator working for one of the victims' families connected the dots to Baumeister. Police approached the family for a search warrant. Herb refused to cooperate. As pressure mounted, he fled. In July 1996, while on the run in Canada, he died by suicide. He left a note, but never a full confession. With a warrant, investigators finally searched Fox Hollow Farm. What they found was nightmare fuel. In the woods, just a short distance from the family home, they discovered thousands upon thousands of charred and fragmented human bones. Teeth, skulls, remains scattered across the property. Forensic experts had to sift through dirt for months. Twist after twist emerged. Some victims were linked to an earlier Indianapolis strangler pattern that seemed to stop when Baumeister bought the farm. New DNA technology decades later has helped identify more remains. As recently as 2024 to 2025, coroners continue identifying victims thanks to advances in science. The good neighbor wasn't just hiding secrets. He was living among them every single day. The Fox Hollow Farm case reminds us how monsters can hide in plain sight. A trusted neighbor, a successful businessman, a father, yet capable of unimaginable horror. Many victims came from vulnerable backgrounds. Their disappearances were heartbreaking for families who waited years for answers, some still waiting for full closure. This case also highlights the power of persistence. From families, private investigators, and law enforcement who never gave up, and modern forensics that continue to bring justice. If you or someone you know has information about a missing person, contact your local authorities or visit NamUs.gov, the National Missing and Unidentified Person System. Every report matters. What do you think? How does someone hide something like this for so long? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like if this story shocked you, share with someone who loves true crime, and subscribe to the Missing Report USA for more stories of the missing and the investigations that seek justice. Stay vigilant, stay safe. We'll see you in the next report.